Greetings! Hello, I'm Dini, your coach, helping you delivering a day-to-day provoking questions to become a better you. You learn, you'll grow. Start from today. In this channel, I will read out loud the conversations between me and AI, a list of curated questions dedicated for those who are interested in organizational development, HR, and neuroscience. AI is a scholarly partner for you to have through discussions as long as you already read, understand, and practice the subjects. This will be conducted in English, not in Bahasa, because AI could better understand and operate in this language. I hope you could learn something from each chapter or each questions I have and benefit from it. A delightful conversation with scholarly AI. Chapter 22. Corporate Culture. Part 1. Questions. 1. Can you explain me what's corporate culture? Who is the founder of corporate culture? 2. Can you explain further the Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy's book Corporate Cultures, The Rights and Rituals of Corporate Life in 8 paragraphs? 3. The culture formed from continuous interactions called rights that influence the corporate day-to-day life from top to bottom. Can you tell me what's the key difference between Shine's approach and Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy, please? 4. Did authors of the books suggest about what's the great culture and how to assess it? 1. Can you explain me what's corporate culture? Who is the founder of the corporate culture? Corporate culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors that define an organization's identity and shapes its interactions with employees, customers, and other stakeholders. It encompasses the unwritten rules, norms, and expectations that influence how people behave and make decisions within the organization. The concept of corporate culture have evolved over time, and it's difficult to attribute its origins to a single founder. However, the term corporate culture gained popularity in 1980s, particularly with the publication of Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy's book Corporate Culture, The Rights and Rituals of Corporate Life in 1982. Deal and Kennedy's work helped to establish corporate culture as a distinct field of study, highlighting its importance in shaping organizational behavior and performance. Since then, numerous researchers and authors have contributed to our understanding of corporate culture, including Edgar Schein, Charles Handy, and Gary O, among others. Edgar Schein, in particular, is often referred as the father of organizational culture. His work has had a significant impact on our understanding of corporate culture, and his model of organizational culture, which includes artifacts, espoused values, and underlying assumptions, remains widely used today. Overall, while it's difficult to identify a single founder of corporate culture, the contributions of researchers like Deal, Kennedy, Schein, and others have helped shape our understanding of this complex and multifaceted concept. 2. Can you explain further the Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy's book Corporate Cultures, The Rights and Rituals of Corporate Life in 8 paragraphs? Here's an overview of Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy's book Corporate Cultures, The Rights and Rituals of Corporate Life in 8 paragraphs. Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy's book Corporate Cultures, The Rights and Rituals of Corporate Life was first published in 1982. The book is considered a seminal work in the field of organizational culture and has had a significant impact on our understanding of corporate culture. Deal and Kennedy's book focuses on the idea that corporate culture is a powerful force that shapes the behavior and attitudes of employees within an organization. They argue that corporate culture is not just a reflection of an organization's values and mission, but also a key driver of its success. The authors draw on their research and consulting experience to identify and describe the characteristics of strong corporate cultures. They contend that these cultures share certain common features, including a clear and compelling vision, a strong sense of identity, and a consistent set of values and norms. Deal and Kennedy also introduced the concept of rites and rituals as a way of understanding how corporate cultures are created and sustained. They argue that these rites and rituals, such as company-wide meetings, training programs, and social events, play a crucial role in shaping the attitudes and behaviors of employees. The book provides numerous case studies and examples of companies with strong corporate culture, including IBM, Procter & Gamble, and Hewlett-Packard. These examples illustrate the ways in which corporate culture can influence employee behavior, customer loyalty, and ultimately business success. Deal and Kennedy's work also highlights the importance of leadership in shaping corporate culture. They argue that leaders play a critical role in creating and sustaining a strong corporate culture, and that this requires a deep understanding of organizations' values, norms, and traditions. One of the key insights from the book is that corporate culture is not something that can be imposed from the top down. Rather, it emerges from the interactions and shared experiences of employees at all levels of the organization. This emphasizes the importance of involving employees in the process of creating and sustaining a strong corporate culture. Overall, Corporate Cultures, The Rites and Rituals of Corporate Life is a highly influential book that has helped shape our understanding of corporate culture and its role in driving business success. Its insights and ideas remain relevant today, and it continues to be a valuable resource for leaders, managers, and anyone interested in organizational culture. 3. Interactions, called rites, that influence the corporate day-to-day life from top to bottom. Can you tell me what's the key difference between Shine's approach and Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy, please? Edgar Schein and Terence Deal or Alan Kennedy are two influential researchers who have contributed significantly to our understanding of organizational culture. While both approaches share some similarities, there are key differences between them. Schein's approach. Edgar Schein's approach to organizational culture focuses on underlying assumptions, values, and artifacts that shape an organization's culture. He views culture as a multi-layered phenomenon consisting of 1. Artifacts, visible symbols, language, and behaviors that represent the organization's culture. 2. Espoused values, the organization's stated values, missions, and philosophy. 3. Underlying assumptions, the unconscious, taken for granted assumptions that shape the organization's behavior and decision-making. Schein's approach emphasizes the importance of understanding the underlying assumptions that drive an organization's culture. He argues that cultural change requires a deep understanding of these assumptions and a willingness to challenge and modify them. Deal and Kennedy's approach. Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy's approach to organizational culture focuses on the concept of rites and rituals that shape an organization's culture. They view culture as a set of shared values, norms, and expectations that are transmitted through various rituals and rites. Deal and Kennedy identify 4 key types of rites that influence organizational culture. 1. Rites of passage, rituals that mark important transitions, such as hiring, promotion, or retirement. 2. Rites of integration, rituals that foster teamwork and collaboration, such as company-wide meetings or social events. 3. Rites of enhancement, rituals that recognize and reward understanding performance, such as awards or bonuses. 4. Rites of renewal, rituals that promote innovation and change, such as training programs and brainstorming sessions. Deal and Kennedy's approach emphasizes the importance of understanding the role of rites and rituals in shaping organizational culture. They argue that cultural change requires a deliberate effort to create new rites and rituals that support the desired culture. Key differences. The key differences between Shine's approach and Deal and Kennedy's approach lie in their 1. Focus. Shine focuses on the underlying assumptions and values that shape organizational culture, while Deal and Kennedy focus on the rites and rituals that transmit and reinforce cultural values. 2. Level of analysis. Shine's approach is more macro-oriented, examining the organization's culture as a whole, while Deal and Kennedy's approach is more micro-oriented, examining the specific rites and rituals that shape cultural values. 3. Change strategy. Shine's approach emphasizes the need to challenge and modify underlying assumptions to achieve cultural change, while Deal and Kennedy's approach emphasizes the need to create new rites and rituals to support the desired culture. Both approaches offer valuable insights into organizational culture, and they can be used complementarily to gain a deeper understanding of this complex phenomenon. 4. Did authors of the books suggest about what's the great culture and how to assess it? Both Edgar Schein and Terence Deal or Alan Kennedy provide insights into what constitutes a great culture and how to assess it. Schein's perspective. Edgar Schein suggests that a great culture is one that is aligned with the organization's mission, values, and goals. He argues that a great culture is characterized by 1. Clear values and norms. A clear understanding of what is important and what is expected of employees. 2. Strong leadership. Leaders who embody the organization's values and provide direction and guidance. 3. High levels of trust. Trust among employees, between employees and leaders, and between the organization and its stakeholders. 4. Open communication. Open and honest communication that fosters collaboration and innovation. 5. Adaptability. A culture that is adaptable and able to respond to changing circumstances. Schein suggests that assessing culture requires a deep understanding of the organization's underlying assumptions, values, and norms. He recommends using a variety of methods, including 1. Observation. Observing behavior and interactions within the organization. 2. Interviews. Conducting interviews with employees, leaders, and stakeholders. 3. Surveys. Using surveys to gather data on employee attitudes and perceptions. 4. Focus groups. Conducting focus groups to gather more in-depth information. Deal and Kennedy's perspective. Terence Deal and Alan Kennedy suggest a great culture is one that is strong yet flexible. They argue that a great culture is characterized by 1. Clear values and purpose. A clear understanding of the organization's mission, values, and goals. 2. Strong leadership. Leaders who embody the organization's value and provide direction and guidance. 3. High level of employee engagement. Employees who are motivated, committed, and passionate about their work. 4. Collaboration and teamwork. A culture that fosters collaboration, teamwork, and open communication. 5. Innovation and adaptability. A culture that encourages innovation, experimentation, and adaptability. Deal and Kennedy suggest that assessing culture requires examining the organization's rites, rituals, and symbols. They recommend using a variety of methods, including 1. Observation. Observing behavior and interactions within the organization. 2. Interviews. Conducting interviews with employees, leaders, and stakeholders. 3. Surveys. Using surveys to gather data and employee attitudes and perceptions. 4. Analysis of artifacts. Analyzing the organization's artifacts, such as its mission statement, values, and symbols. Overall, both Shine and Deal or Kennedy emphasize the importance of understanding the underlying dynamics of an organization's culture and using a variety of methods to assess it